Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. It is 7 o'clock straight up. I'm Roger Susanin.
I'm Caitlin Nuclo. You're watching Eyewitness News here on the Wax. We appreciate that. A lot to talk about, but first we want to get you started and ready for the day. Meteorologist Scott Gagliardi is here with a check on your first alert forecast. Another day of bundling up out there.
It absolutely is. Happy first Friday of 2025, though.
Yeah, that's
exciting.
Right. First weekend of the year.
First weekend of the year ahead. It's going to be cold. I mean, very cold. What do we expect? It's January. We live in Connecticut.
We're tough.
We expect it.
You've got a beard for crying out loud. You're tough. You can handle it.
I prep all year for this. I'm ready for it. As far as what it looks like outside right now, though, New London, a pretty sunrise coming in. Not many clouds, but you see that orange hue off in the horizon. Temperature 31 degrees. New Haven, it's a couple degrees warmer, but what you see on the thermometer is not what you're getting outside. It's cold out there. These temperatures, this is what you'll see, 20s to lower and even middle 30s. But there's still a breeze out there, not as much as yesterday, but it's giving you feels like temperatures in the teens and 20s. So throughout the day today, dress for 20s because it will be that cold no matter where you are. Wind speeds, they're generally on the lighter side, especially compared to yesterday, but still noticeable. A couple wind gusts, 20 to near 26 miles per hour in Bridgeport. As far as your weather headlines, though, it's clear and chilly to start today. It's colder this weekend. And then we're watching Monday. There's a chance for something. We'll go into much more detail about that, though, and what to expect next week. That's all coming up in just a few minutes. Roger?
All right, thank you, Scott. Let's take a live look outside, and the situation is getting better all the time in Bridgeport this morning. We told you about a pretty major delay because of a disabled bus. Well, the DOT or crews were able to yank that thing right off the highway, and you can see we're talking about pretty much smooth sailing yet again. There's some secondary delays for about a 5-mile stretch between exits 27A and 19, we're told, but nothing that's going to mess you up too badly on your Friday morning. The rest of the state, man, we are looking fantastic, looking like a snack in Hartford, Waterbury, Middletown, and in Meriden. That is a check of your first alert traffic driven by your Connecticut Chevy dealers. I wanted to take Scott's job.
All right, some breaking news overnight here in New Haven. We're learning that police are investigating a shooting in the city.
Yeah, they actually posted about it on social media. They said they were at the hospital with the victim, a man in his 40s who apparently had been shot around 9:30 last night, but police did not tell us where that shooting actually took place.
He is expected to survive, and of course, we'll bring you new details as soon as we learn more. And this morning, we're following some developing news about a shooting in New London. Police say one man was sent to the hospital after being shot near Shaw and Ann Streets last night. Police tell us they're still looking to track down the shooter. You can see they were on the scene last night collecting evidence. No word yet on the extent of how badly that victim was hurt.
Right now, we know 5 people, including 4 firefighters, were injured after a crash involving a fire truck on Main Street in Hartford last night. It happened again late last night, we're told. Now, everybody is expected to survive, but at this point, we are still gathering information about how that crash happened.
Well, this morning, the FBI says the man who plowed through a crowd of New Year's Eve revelers in New Orleans acted alone.
Investigators say new evidence, including a video posted to social media, shows Army veteran Shamsud Din Jabbar was, quote, 100% inspired by ISIS.
Officials still don't know if there's still no definitive link between that deadly truck attack on Bourbon Street and the explosion of a Tesla truck outside of the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas.
This morning, we continue to learn more about the victims of that horrific New Year's Day terrorist attack in New Orleans.
Yeah, one of the victims, 27-year-old Martin Besh, known as Tiger, has ties here to our state.
Your reporter Olivia Schuler joined us from Loomis Chafee School in Windsor with everything we know at this hour.
Caitlin and Roger, we're standing in front of the entrance to the prep school that Besh went to. He was a football player here and graduated in 2016 before continuing his athletic career at Princeton. Loomis Chafee School is reacting to the heartbreaking news this morning. They shared with us this statement saying, in part, quote, Tiger was a cherished member of the community and he is remembered fondly by his classmates, coaches, faculty, and staff. We are thinking of his loved ones and extend our sympathy. Princeton's head football coach said Besh was a, quote, Tiger in every way, ferocious competitor with endless energy, a beloved teammate, and a caring friend. Besh is a Louisiana native. He was visiting New Orleans for the holidays. According to Besh's sister, he was walking back to his hotel with a friend when the attack happened. This morning, Besh's friend he was walking with is recovering in the hospital. He's one among dozens who were hurt. We now know 14 people were killed, more than 30 are injured. Our thoughts are with the friends and families impacted by this horrible terrorist attack on Bourbon Street. Now, we do know that police did shoot and kill the suspect who barreled through the crowds on New Year's Day. Your reporter in Windsor, Olivia Schuler, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Some new details this morning from Haddam, where we're learning a crash on Route 9 that happened yesterday morning was deadly. Police say 61-year-old Francisco Ribeiro of Danbury was driving on the southbound side of the highway when he veered off the road and hit a tree. Happened right near exit 19. We're still working to learn why that happened, but if you know anything, give police a call.
This morning, we now know a crash in New Haven involved a stolen car and sent a teenager to the hospital in critical condition. Now, we first told you about this story as it broke yesterday morning. Police tell us the teenager slammed into a utility pole on Quinnipiac Avenue. You can see the wreckage there after apparently stealing the car, according to police. They also tell us one other person was in the car, but they took off on foot. Police are now working to try to find out where that car was initially stolen from. And in Southington, the Board of Fire Commissioners have decided to maintain current staffing levels.
Yeah, this comes after a scary incident prompted some fears of a shortage in that community.
Your reporter Marcy Jones is outside of Southington FD. So, Marcy, there was a meeting about this issue last night. Where do things stand right now?
Well, fears of a staffing shortage were reignited after a scary incident last week, and that's exactly why the fire department here in Southington wants to reassure the community that safety is their top priority, and they're doing that with their new funding proposal. Dozens of folks showed up at a community meeting last night to not only hear the new funding proposal to replace 4 firefighters, but also to have their voices heard during the public comment portion. The plan is to hire 3 firefighters with money from grants, and the 4th hire would be funded by the town. However, some who shared their own experiences argue the town still needs to recruit even more firefighters.
1 o'clock in the morning, I was sound asleep, and the only thing that woke me up was the roar of the fire. You have no idea how terrifying that is, to be woken up by the sound of a fire. I do. And if it wasn't for all these wonderful people that I am so grateful for, I am alive today, and my husband and I are alive today.
Now, even though the Board of Fire Commissioners has passed their plan, it still needs to be approved by the Financial Committee as well as the Town Council. Your reporter in Southington, Marcy Jones, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, Marcy, thank you. In West Haven, police are investigating break-ins at 2 restaurants over the weekend. The businesses, Oak Beach Bar and Grill and Apps, are right next to each other on Captain Thomas Boulevard. West Haven police tell us the burglar or burglars made off with an undisclosed amount of cash. Anybody with useful information is urged to contact police right away.
Well, right now, officials with Tweed New Haven Airport say they're working on some solutions to alleviate congestion there around the airport and inside as well.
Yeah, it's been a big problem. Growing concerns over heavy traffic, especially over the last few weeks. Neighbors and passengers alike have reported longer lines in parking lots and security areas as well.
Now, people who live near the airport also say they're worried about traffic on Fort Hale Road. We're told Tweed is experimenting with some different entrances and exits, and they also plan to add TSA capacity.
Now, officials say outdoor heating is in the works right now for passengers waiting to get inside the airport. But for now, listen to this. Officials recommend getting to the airport at least 3 hours early during high travel season. That is very early indeed, Scott.
That is super early. And if you have any plans to head to Tweed, dress warmly. It's cold even all the way towards the shoreline. A live look outside, though, right now in Middletown, we're seeing the first glimpses of our sunrise coming in about the next 9 minutes or so. Same deal through Old Saybrook, a very nice shot there, but it is cold even all the way towards the shoreline. And it's not just us, all of New England and the Northeast seeing those 20s and 30s. There's a little bit of snow, more towards the north. The same snow band that we saw yesterday, the one that brought a few flakes to parts of Connecticut, and then some accumulating snow just to the north in Massachusetts. But that band of snow is now much farther towards the north. You see some more snow out towards the west. None of it making its way here towards Connecticut, but putting First Alert Futurecast into motion. Here's tomorrow morning. There's a couple clouds, some, I guess you could call it lake effect snow, still ramping up through parts of New York and Pennsylvania. Then you get to Sunday morning. We're still high and dry besides a few clouds. It's breezy and it's cold. But then once we get towards, say, late Sunday into Monday, our clouds will begin to increase. It's going to look like it wants to snow. And here's Monday morning of a decent snowstorm down towards D.C. If you have any friends in Baltimore, Maryland, Philadelphia, New Jersey, expecting a decent snowstorm there. But look what happens throughout the day on Monday. We're not going to miss it. We're going to miss it. And there'll be some flakes for Fairfield County, but that's about it. And here's Tuesday morning, back into that sunshine and bitterly cold. I'll have the latest on how cold it actually gets next week. All that coming up with your full First Alert forecast.